Yeah, the only problem is some people are bossy assholes and they ruin escape rooms for everyone. It's like board games. Board games are really fun, and then a few weird rules-obsessed assholes ruin it for everybody else. And they don't allow them to enjoy it and take time to learn it. They don't let them have moments of like their own progress. They turn it into like a self-actualizing thing where they get to be the smartest one. I'm not even saying I've never been that person in my life, but I've definitely learned that that is like the worst way to introduce someone to your hobby. Like, get some joy out of your group having fun, and then you will realize it's not about you doing every puzzle. That's not the goal. But I think like the real example is someone that's played a board game multiple times and knows the rules in and out, forcing their friends to play it and then beating them. It's like everyone going into it can expect that you're gonna win. You've played it a bunch of times before and they're new. And so it's like you really need to rethink your whole plan of attack on this. You never did that with Smash? In what context? Did I ever sit Ari down and beat her ass at Smash and say you need to learn how to play? Yes, of course, many times. No, I didn't do that. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't think that's a good example. I did it. I remember specifically this guy. I'll call him Waba because that's his name. He worked at Twitch and played Jigglypuff, and he was a funny guy, but he couldn't really beat any people that were good. And we had a pretty competitive Smash break room at Twitch. We had everybody's name on the wall in Velcro, and if you ever beat somebody, you got to rip their name off the wall and put your name there and switch tags. So like we had a pretty like ironclad ranking system where everyone would have serious best of 3s or best of 5s at lunch break to like we had power rank. It was pretty sick. It was really dope. What Waba would do, you know, the goal of that system is to challenge somebody better than you to try and move up the rank. What Waba would do is find brand new players, brand new employees to Twitch, like a new guy in HR or a new person in finance who had never played or barely played Smash, and say, oh yeah, we have you want to fit in around here? We have a fun Smash culture. And then he would sit them down, and they were like learning how to play the game, and he would beat them over and over at lunch. He would beat them like 10-0. Sometimes he would even add their name to the bottom, so there was like more of a bottom, which is crazy. That's crazy. They're not, and like 90% of them never came back. None of them would ever. That's a terrible way to introduce them. I don't think you should try to get new players to just get smoked. Or I understand. I think I used to when I was younger, when I was in my, it was 300 years ago when I was 22. I used to think like it's fucking Giga Chad to get absolutely rolled and smoked early. Like that'll teach him. But I think a little bit differently now. And I think there's a time for that because everybody has to learn. But I think there's an art to getting someone interested in something you're interested in. And I think if you truly smash someone into the dirt early, only very certain types of people respond well to that. And the point of board games and escape rooms and shit is not that. I will win one game and then never play again to go out on a high note. The people that do that the most to me in my life, this happens to all Melee players actually. Here's a story. If anyone's grinded Melee for years, as I have, and many Melee lifers have, you go to some kind of party or social gathering or event where they are playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on a laggy TV. And then you play somebody and they win because it's an entirely different game. It's laggy as fuck. You can't do anything. You're trying to do something fancy. You can't do it. And they just fucking spam forward smash with Bowser or some shit and they beat you. And then they fucking talk endless shit. They talk endless shit. I mean, they just lose their mind that, oh, you love Smash? Oh, you're good at Smash? Oh, you like Smash? Items are usually on. Oh, wow, I tell you Smash. Do you watch Smash? I don't even watch Smash. And it's the worst. It's the worst feeling. But the worst ones will just beat you once and be like, nah. The worst ones will beat you one time and be like, I'm good. I think we figured it out. And that is a truly irksome. That is a truly irksome habit. Tell the Shardbound story. I mean, there's a million Shardbound stories. Shardbound was a tactical card game that I became world rank 1 at. It wasn't a very popular game, which makes it worse that I spent all my time on it. But the story that I maybe didn't tell is like that game first released at TwitchCon 2016 or 2015. That's when the CEO of the company, Spirit Walk, went up on stage at TwitchCon and gave a little speech about how like they were building their game to be integrated into Twitch, and Twitch is going to be the future of gaming, and this game is going to be fun. Because at that time, Hearthstone was fucking huge on Twitch. And this game was kind of like a more serious tactical card game that was going to be built in. Like, that was the idea, right? They had like this really cool booth with like 20 PCs that all had Shardbound on it, and they were hooked up to play each other. I was working TwitchCon. I was running social media for Twitch at TwitchCon, and I was one of only like 6 TwitchCon employees, like people that were actually running TwitchCon. While I was working, I took a little break to go play one round of this new game, Shardbound, because it looked interesting. And I played it, and I was like, this game fucking rules. And I played it, and I sat down, and I lost, right? I lost my first game. And I was like, but this game rules. This is really fun. Hour later or whatever, I'm like, I got a break. I'm going to play another game of Shardbound. So I go, and I go to the booth again. I wait in the little line, and I play again. And this time I win. And now I'm like, holy fuck, this game rules. I also realized, like, oh my God, this card's kind of good. You know, it was a demo. The demo only had like 2 generals or whatever, 2 decks. I noticed most people were playing like the cool red general, and the green one had like some cool cards or whatever. So I was like, wait a minute, I'll play the green one. And then every time I came back and picked the green one and like tried the strategy I was thinking of that nobody else was doing, because they were all playing for their first time usually, I would win. So I kept winning. And then I was like, this is really fun. And I want to see if anyone can beat me. So over the next 72 hours, I went like 50 times. Like every single break I got, I would come back to that booth and I would play the green deck. And I was like 49-1, dude. Like I kept winning, and I was having so much fun, and I was getting cracked at the game. And again, always playing against like new players. Nobody else is like doing this. So I've played more than anyone else. But like, I think at one point on day 3, I played one of the devs. One of the devs sat down and I beat him. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to be the fucking greatest in this game. And then so when the game came out, I started playing it all the fucking time. All the time. Like I played this game after work every day at Twitch. When it came, it didn't even come out, it was early access or whatever. To the point where, because there wasn't that many players, it wasn't very active, anytime a new player would queue up on ladder, if it couldn't find someone in their skill level, it would branch out. And if it couldn't find someone in that skill level, it would branch out. And so every day I was queued up 24/7. Because there was nobody in my level. There was like one guy. There was like, it was like 10 people that we would all have to meet up on Discord. So I'm always in queue for hours. I would always be in queue. And almost every match I would get is like somebody who's brand new playing the guy who's literally rank 1 on ladder. And they would get completely shit on. 2 things happened from that. One is that the devs had a studio not too far from Twitch office in San Mateo. And they invited me out when I was rank 1. They invited me out to like look at some new upcoming maps, talk about the game, see how they could use Twitch to promote their game, because I ran the front page and shit. And he also brought me into his office and sat me down and said, hey, you've got to stop scaring new players off. Like, they look at the stats, and people would play the game, run into me, get completely destroyed. Like, and they would bounce. They would just churn. They wouldn't play again because they would feel like the game was too hardcore. So Shardbound recently got bought by like a fucking NFT company. So the game, I mean, I remember I got an email like a few months ago that was like, Shardbound's coming back. We're finally finishing the game. And I was like, oh, that's bad for me. I am worried I'll get addicted again. And I click it and it's like, now with NFTs. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not worried. Thank God. Actually, I've never been so excited to see NFTs in a game because it saved me from getting fucking locked in. Anyway, there was a fucking Reddit thread. We've seen it on stream. I must be deleted after that NFT company bought it. But there was a Reddit thread saying, I am a 1200 ranked player in a game with Atrioc right now, AMA. Yeah, anyway, it caused some damage to the game. But I love that game. It was a beautiful game. And one day, if I ever, if the NFT company dies and I could pick it up for pennies on the dollar, I would buy that game, I would finish it, and I'll play it. Yeah, I love it to death. I strangled it.